பெண்களின் பங்களிப்பை கட்டுப்படுத்தும் தடைகளை தகர்த்து அவர்களின் திறமைகளை இனங்காண்பதற்கு மதிப்பீடு செய்வதற்கும் மற்றும் அவர்களை பலப்படுத்துவதற்கும் CCWE வழங்கும் பங்களிப்பு பாராட்டத்தக்கது என பிரதமர் கலாநிதி அரிணி அமரசூரிய தெரிவித்துள்ளார். நேற்றைய தினம் கொழும்பில் நடைபெற்ற இளங்கல் பெண்கள் தொழில் முனைவோர் சபையின் ஏற்பாடு செய்யப்பட்டிருந்த CCWE Fashion Week International Summit 2026 நிகழ்வில் பிரதமர் கலாநிதி அரிணி அமரசூரிய கலந்து கொண்டார். த்ரெட்ஸ் ஆஃப் இன்க்ளூசிவ் woven from every walk of life எனும் தலைப்பின் கீழ் 2026 ஜூலை 16 முதல் 19 வரை நடைபெறும் இந்த CCWE Fashion Week இன்டர்நேஷனல் சமிட் 2026 பெண்களின் பங்களிப்பு, பெண் வலுவூட்டல், தொழில் முனைவோர் திறன் மற்றும் சமூக மாற்றம் ஆகியவற்றிற்கான தளத்தையும் உரையாடலையும் உருவாக்குவதை நோக்காக கொண்டு ஏற்பாடு செய்யப்பட்டுள்ளது. தெற்காசியா முழுவதிலும் இருந்தும் பெண் தொழில் முனைவோர், ஃபேஷன் வடிவமைப்பாளர்கள், படைப்பாளிகள் மற்றும் தொழில்துறை வல்லுநர்கள் பலர் இந்த நிகழ்வில் கலந்து கொள்ள உள்ளனர். இந்த மாநாட்டின் மூலம் புத்தாக்கம், தலைமைத்துவம் மற்றும் பிராந்திய ஒத்துழைப்பு ஊக்குவிப்பதற்கு, பெண்களை வலுவூட்டும் வர்த்தகர்களை மேம்படுத்துவதற்கும், புதிய சந்தை வாய்ப்புகளுக்கான அணுகல்களை ஆதரிப்பதற்கும், நிலையான பொருளாதார வளர்ச்சிக்கு பெண்களின் பங்களிப்பை ஊக்கப்படுத்துவதற்கும் சந்தர்ப்பம் ஏற்படுத்தி கொடுக்கப்படுகின்றது. இந்த நிகழ்வில் கலந்து கொண்டு உரையாற்றிய பிரதமர் கலாநிதி அரிணி அமரசூரிய, ஃபேஷன் என்பது பெண்களின் பன்முகத்தன்மையையும் அவர்கள் தனித்துவத்தையும் பிரதிபலிக்கும் ஒரு சக்தி வாய்ந்த வெளிப்பாட்டு ஊடகமாகும் என்றும், அதே போன்று பெண்கள் மீது சமூகத்தில் விதிக்கப்படும் கட்டுப்பாடுகள், கடுமையான சமூக எதிர்பார்ப்புகளுக்கும் இந்த ஃபேஷன் ஊடாக பிரதிபலிக்கப்படுவதனால் இந்த சமூக விவாதத்திற்கு, சமூக மாற்றத்திற்கும் ஒரு முக்கியமான இடத்தை உருவாக்குகிறது என்றும் குறிப்பிட்டார். CCWE ஃபேஷன் வாரம் மற்றும் சர்வதேச மாநாடு போன்ற திட்டங்கள் மூலம் பாரம்பரிய எல்லைகளுக்கு சவால் விடுத்து பெண்களின் பங்களிப்பிற்கு நீண்ட காலமாக முட்டுக்கட்டையாக இருந்த தடைகளை தகர்த்து பெண்களின் திறமைகளை இனங்காண்பதற்கும் மதிப்பீடு செய்வதற்கும் மற்றும் அவர்களை வலுவூட்டுவதற்குமானதொரு இடத்தை உருவாக்குவதன் முக்கியத்துவத்தை பிரதமர் இங்கு வலியுறுத்தினார். அத்தோடு பெண்களை வலுவூட்டுதல் மூலமாக பொருளாதாரத்தை பலப்படுத்துவதன் முக்கியத்துவத்தை வலியுறுத்திய பிரதமர், இலங்கையின் பல நுண் மற்றும் சிறு கைத்தொழில் துறைகளில் முதன்மை உந்து சக்தியாக பெண்களை விளங்குகின்றனர் என்றும் சுட்டிக்காட்டினார். இந்த நிகழ்வில் இலங்கையின் பெண் தொழில் முனைவோர் சபையின் தலைவி கலாநிதி அயந்தி குருசிங், அச்சபையின் உறுப்பினர்கள், தெற்காசியா முழுவதிலும் இருந்தும் வருகை தந்த பெண் தொழில் முனைவோர், ஃபேஷன் வடிவமைப்பாளர்கள், தொழில் வல்லுநர்கள் மற்றும் தொழில்துறை நிபுணர்கள் உள்ளிட்ட பலர் கலந்து கொண்டனர்.
In a way, it's very apt that someone like me is here today, because I think this is the issue. When we think of fashion, we only think of particular types of fashion, of women and men who are perfectly put together. And as you can see, I am not one of those people. But all of us like to look good. All of us enjoy fashion. All of us appreciate fashion. But it doesn't need to be one model of fashion that we appreciate or celebrate. And I think in many ways, this is why I'm here, to also represent someone who's a bit ignorant about fashion, to be quite honest, but one who really enjoys beauty, enjoys wearing nice clothes, and appreciates all of that as well. So thank you for inviting me to be part of this. While I think when we think of fashion, when we tend to think about clothing, design, and style, and all of these are an integral part of fashion. I think it's also very much a part of identity, but it's also very much a part of women's image and how women are judged, and how women present themselves, and how women are seen by society as well. That is why I think this kind of forum is really important, because I think it helps us to push those boundaries about how fashion is thought about, how style and design, and indeed through that, how women are thought about. I think this is an opportunity for us to push those boundaries in an arena or in a forum which is traditionally considered a bit limiting for women. I understood the importance of fashion and design, I have to admit, after I became the Prime Minister. I never thought that what I wear and how I look would become a topic of conversation among people, that my hair, my choice of sari, whether I wore sari, for what I wore sari, for what I didn't wear sari, that all of these things would become topics of debate, controversy even, and conversation. And I think this is very much a part of how women in the public eye are judged. And women in the public space become, whether they want to or not, symbols of various things, symbols of a nation's culture, motherhood, the symbols of a nation's purity. All of these things are read through how women are seen in the public eye. And I think that puts quite a burden on all of us, because the way we are seen, how we present ourselves, then becomes so much more than just about who we are. We are symbolic of something that is bigger than us, and this can sometimes be quite a stressful thing, whether it's for a young woman who's a young girl, a teenager who's trying to fit into a particular ideal of beauty, or whether it's an older person just trying to live comfortably in one's own skin and not being allowed to do that. So the fashion industry in itself, while also being a space which can be a huge opportunity to celebrate women, can also become a source of real stress and difficulty for women if there are attempts to limit the kind of ways in which women can present themselves. So I think these are some of the issues that we really need to talk about, right? Because I think this forum, this topic, this theme allows us to talk about lots of things that can impact on women's lives. Fashion can be a source of women's empowerment. Fashion can be a source of income for women. Fashion, as you have shown, can be an important source of income. It's one of our major industries. And as we know, women are very much the driving force behind the fashion industry in Sri Lanka, whether it's the garment worker working in some factory somewhere, or whether it's the designers, or whether it's those in charge. Women drive the fashion industry in Sri Lanka, the garment industry in Sri Lanka, which is such an important source of revenue for us. So it's very much an industry. It's a career path. It can be extremely empowering for women to be part of that. It can be a place where we celebrate women in all of their diversity and differences and really appreciate that variety, whether it's our body size, whether it's our skin complexion, whether it's our choice of fashion and style. This really can be a forum where we celebrate all of this. But I think we also need to be mindful of the ways in which fashion, when talked about in particularly restricting ways, can also be a source of real stress and harm for women. When we are told that we have to look a particular way, when we are told that we have to be a particular color, a particular size, and dress in this way and only this way, it can also be a source of huge pressure on women. It was very recently that I managed to catch a small clip of Michelle Obama speaking about her own experiences, because as the first black first lady of the USA, the scrutiny she was under, and when she very quickly realized that every garment she wore, every accessory that she chose to wear became symbolic for some larger thing, was discussed, was under so much surveillance and scrutiny, that then she decided she was going to actively use that scrutiny to be able to message, to communicate certain things about black women, about American culture, about the values that she wanted to also promote in her role as First Lady. And she very consciously used fashion to do that. So fashion can also be something very powerful in that sense. And I hope that when we talk today and when you're discussing in your forums today, and when you, with this group of amazing women that you put together for this discussion, that you are able to have these conversations as well. That when we are talking about the stories behind fashion, when we are talking about women's experiences of fashion, that we are also able to think about how fashion, style, all of these, and this as an industry can also challenge some of the stereotypes that limit women and instead open up this space for celebrating women in all of their diversity. So I'm really pleased to see this being put together in this way. As I said, this is very much an industry that is quite central to Sri Lanka's economy and has always been. I mean, I think for the Sri Lankan women here in this room, I think all of us can remember the importance the Singer sewing machine played in our homes. All of us, I think, grew up in households with a Singer sewing machine. Okay, towards the later years, the Singer sewing machine became a piece of furniture where we hung things on. I don't think we ever used it. I know I certainly haven't. But we all know the Singer sewing machine, and we remember our grandmothers toiling away with this machine. But it is from that we have transformed. We have a really rich culture of weavers, a weaving industry of women who make beautiful artisan products for our industry. From that we've grown into one of the leading garment industries in the world, where whether it's in terms of design or technology, Sri Lanka's garment industry has grown to be at the cutting edge in many ways. And it's becoming now a pathway for many young women who choose this as a career path, as designers or as models or in any of the many career options that are available to them in this field. But at the same time, let's not forget those women in homes, the women in villages, the women in our factories who are often overlooked in this entire industry and may never get to actually see or enjoy some of the products that come out of our industry as well. They form the real backbone of our industry, and we need to make sure that they are equal partners in this conversation as well as in this industry. So it also means a lot that the Chamber is taking this initiative, focusing on women as entrepreneurs. And I've just been told that you bring together women entrepreneurs from various sectors, and you chose fashion as one of those sectors which is common across the board. And I think that's a great idea. And I congratulate you on your initiative. But it also means, I'm also very appreciative of the fact that you are focusing on women entrepreneurs and that you're providing this network as a source of support and a source of strength to our women entrepreneurs across the island. So thank you for inviting me to be part of this. I'm sorry I can't stay long. I think the fashion show is later this evening. Unfortunately, I will not be here for this, but thank you. I am very pleased to see all of you here. I hope this is the first of many such initiatives, and I invite you in your celebration of fashion and women and this industry to push to the limits the boundaries that often restrict us in how we celebrate ourselves as women. So thank you, congratulations to all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful
மேலதிக செய்திகளுக்காக எமது யூடியூப் தளத்தை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் செய்யுங்கள்.